The first mirrors, now they go back to ancient civilization around 6,000 to 4,000 BC. First mirrors were made from polished stones, metals, used copper, bronze, and silver. And these polished surfaces were able to reflect light, providing a basic mirrored image for the user. Now, if you go back to mythology, Narcissus was a figure from Greek mythology who was so impossibly handsome. He fell in love with his own self-image that was reflected in a pool of water. And a lovely nymph named Echo couldn't stop him. So what ended up happening to Narcissus is that he became a flower. And that was a synonym for those who were later completely obsessed with their own appearance. And we know in Snow White, the evil queen inquired of a mirror, asking her who was the fairest in the land. She was not happy when the mirror replied, Snow White. Inquiring of mirrors. Perhaps you've said it yourself. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Tell me, mirror, what is wrong? Can it be my de la clothes? Or is it just my de la soul? What I do ain't make-believe. People say I sit and try. But when it comes to being de la, it's just me, myself, and I. Welcome to the Steven Thompson Experience. My name is Steven Thompson, and this is my experience. I use history and music to make connections with the goal of informing, educating, and inspiring others to go out and live, serve, and love others around them. And hopefully together we can do our part in making our world a little bit better. Me, myself, and I is by the American hip-hop group De La Soul. It was released in 1989 from their first studio album called 3 Feet High and Rising. In fact, it was the group's only #1 hit on the US R&B chart. And De La Soul was a hip-hop group from Long Island. They got together in 1987. And the name De La is a shortened version of From the Soul. And that was the group's aim, to create music that comes from the heart and soul. Now, in the songs, you'll hear them say plug 1 and plug 2 and plug 3. Well, those were individual members' names that they called themselves, their stage name. So, Postinus is plug 1, Trugoy is plug 2, and Maceo is plug 3. Now, plug meant the idea that the 3 members of De La Soul are like electrical plugs, each bringing their own energy to the group's sound. So, in Me, Myself, and I, when they refer to that, they are talking about energy that is coming from the soul. Now, speaking of energy from the soul, it is Women's History Month. And this week, I want to talk about Frances Perkins. And Frances Perkins was the Secretary of Labor under Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And what made Frances Perkins so unique is she was the very first woman to serve on a cabinet of a president of the United States. And she was considered a self-made woman. She was born in poverty in New England, and she became an advocate for safety in the workplace and the rights of workers. In fact, when she joined the cabinet, she gave Roosevelt a list of policy priorities that she was going to work on. These included the 40-hour work week, minimum wage, unemployment compensation, abolition of child labor, direct federal aids to the states for unemployment relief, and Social Security. And she told Roosevelt that if she was going to join his cabinet, these were going to be a priority for her. And Roosevelt endorsed all of them. And then she became the first woman to serve in a presidential cabinet. And this is what she said. I'll quote, "I promise to use what brains I have to meet problems with intelligence and courage." The brains I have to meet problems with courage and intelligence. So me, myself, and I can be used to describe the power of solitude and its role in refreshing and recharging your inner spirit so that you have the ability to bring out of you the type of quotes and service to others that Frances Perkins was talking about. Solitude, me, myself, and I. Spending time alone. Jack Fong, a sociologist at California State Polytechnic University, studied solitude. And what he said was, when people take time to explore solitude, they're going to look at who they are, and they might learn a little bit more about themselves and how to work through situations that are toxic that are around them. Matthew Barker, he's a psychoanalytic political theorist at Medill College, and he also researched solitude. And he said that if you're going to be productive in a situation of solitude, it means that you should internally explore and even do it if it becomes uncomfortable or painful. But he says it takes that amount of work, and that solitude can turn into a very pleasant experience. And he says this: solitude leads you to being in the most important relationship that you have. That's the relationship with yourself. From the soul, de la soul, our souls. Many people think that what comes from our souls is our true self, our innermost thoughts, our feelings that reflect who we are. Can mean our passions, our creativity, our desires, our values, our beliefs, and even our spirituality. So let me ask you some questions to carry you into this week. What comes from your soul? And what are you desiring to bring out of your soul and give to the world in the service of others? What steps do you need to take? What resources do you need? And what can you commit to doing today? So find some solitude today and spend some time with me, myself, and I. Thank you for listening to the Steven Thompson Experience. My name is Steven Thompson, and this has been my experience. It is my goal and desire to inform, educate, and encourage and inspire others and myself to create a path towards the goals you and I set and the hope that you want to pass on. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you again soon. I hope and pray that you will be the best version of yourself and that you will find a path through, around, or over the obstacles that come your way. I enjoy history and great music, so go out and listen to Me, Myself, and I by De La Soul. Check out my website, The Steven Thompson Experience. I have a newsletter, a blog, and links to my novels and some worksheets to guide you through some exercises on my YouTube channel as well to help you manage difficult situations in a positive way. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.